organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, 50 years have passed since an epic moment in history. Stay tuned to see what Iowa City locals did to celebrate.
And preparing for a day of silence, stay tuned to see why tea candles were lighting the UI campus on Tuesday.
And in sports, the impact of Monday's explosions on the sporting world.
All that and much more is coming your way next.
Stay tuned because Daily Iowan TV is just getting started.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Tuesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Nicole Mann.
And I'm Lauren Moss.
Tuesday marked the 50th anniversary of the day Martin Luther King Jr. began writing his famous letter from Birmingham jail. UI students, faculty, and guests met at the Old Capitol Museum to listen to the reading of the letter. After the reading, the audience discussed the letter's historical significance.
Hopefully it'll be an extension of ideas and impact students in a way in which no matter where they are years from now, they'll continue to reflect on these words in some way, shape, or form.
People celebrated the 50th anniversary all around the world, like South Africa, Europe, and even Latin America.
And the city of Iowa City has rejected a petition proposing a restriction on red light cameras in Iowa City. The Stop Big Brother group gathered over 3,000 signatures for the cause, but the city clerk could only verify about 2,000 of those names. Many names and addresses on the petitions were either illegible or did not match up to registered voters. The group now has until April 30th to collect the rest of the required 2,500 signatures.
A UI student group kick-started a week of remembering Tuesday night for the gay community. The GLBTAU group placed tea lamp bags along the T. Ann Cleary walkway in honor of the Day of Silence this year. This Friday is the National Day of Silence, when those involved with bullying will remain silent to remember those in the GLBTAU community affected by suicide and bullying. And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, we'll tell you about the progress of the new movie theater coming to downtown Iowa City.
And in sports, one Hawk is on a record pace. Our sports staff will tell you more coming up soon.
But first, let's check in with our own Whitney Blakemore for weather. Whitney?
Thanks, guys. It looks like those April showers are taking full force as almost every day this week has a high chance of precipitation. Wednesday morning will start off with a 90% chance of thunderstorms and the temperature at about 45 degrees. The afternoon will warm up to about 57 and those storms still in effect. And as the day comes to an end, those thunderstorms will be going throughout the night. Now, like I said earlier, rain is all we will be seeing for a while, so have those rain boots on and those umbrellas with you at all times. Thursday and Friday have an 80% and 60% chance of rain, respectively, with those temps ranging from the low 50s to mid 60s. Saturday will be our only day this week without any rain, with a high of 57. Sunday will heat back up to the high 60s, but the rain will come back. And finally, Monday will bring a 30% chance of thunderstorms. Well, that's all I have here for weather. Try to stay dry. Back to you guys at the desk.
Construction for Film Scene, a new theater coming to downtown Iowa City, is still in progress and is set to be ready by the fall. The Bijou Cinema will collaborate with Film Scene, co-founded by Andy Brody and Andrew Sherburne. The founders say the new establishment will include a cinema and a lounge for discussions before and after films. The Bijou Cinema will work with Film Scene to help educate the public on the art form of film. Here is a sneak peek of Scene 1, which is an 85-seat theater with surround sound and high-end digital cinema projection. They plan to screen films that are first-run films, American independence, documentaries, and foreign films.
This week, the Carver College of Medicine is hosting its Health Research Week. Every year during this time, internationally known speakers are invited to lecture on current health topics. Tomorrow's issue of the Daily Iowan will preview the first speaker, Dr. Kendler. Kendler studied genetics at Stanford and Yale. Kendler told the Daily Iowan that he is interested in understanding the genes involved in mental illnesses in order to benefit patients and aid diagnosis.
A new student leader is stepping up this week to represent graduate students at the university. Executive Council of Graduate and Professional Students held their presidential election Tuesday. Only one person ran for the position of president, graduate student Ben Gillig. Gillig will work to represent graduate and professional students, work with UI administration and the State of Board of Regents. The council also gives grants to students as well as funding to student organizations.
And now let's take a look at what's happening outside of Iowa. We have new information surrounding the investigation of Monday's Boston Marathon bombings. Tuesday, officials said the bombs were made out of pressure cookers and packed with shards of metal, nails, and ball bearings. Here's just one picture of a runner who fell to the ground after the blast. The explosion killed 3 and injured over 170 people.
Israelis flooded the streets of their country Tuesday to celebrate 65 years of independence. The military held formal state celebrations and the country leaders kicked off the celebrations. The country proclaimed its independence after the Israeli war in 1948.
And pictures of South African sprint runner Oscar Pistorius may get some police in trouble. Tuesday, South African police confiscated 49 cell phones from officials. The officer used them to photograph Pistorius when he was first arrested for the death of his girlfriend in February.
Now let's toss it over to Ian Martin for a look at sports.
Yes, hello. Once again, welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We have a lot in tonight's show, but we're going to start with talking about the impact of Monday's explosions on the sporting world. The most tangible reaction from high officials came on Monday night with the National Hockey League postponing its matchup between the hometown Boston Bruins and the Ottawa Senators. The National Basketball Association also responding swiftly, canceling the Celtics season finale against the Pacers on Tuesday night. That also would have taken place in Boston. The league has further announced no plans for a makeup game, which is actually a first in the history of the NBA. Teams and arenas, stadiums across the nation stood together in moments of silence on Monday night to honor the victims of the horrific events that led to a few deaths and the injuries of more than 175 people attending the Boston Marathon on Patriots' Day in Boston. Bomb-sniffing dogs were on hand in Nashville for an NHL game last night between the Predators and Canucks, and armed police officers also posted in front of each dugout in Los Angeles for a meeting between the Padres and Dodgers in baseball. Security measures expected to affect on into the next month as the Kentucky Derby and Indianapolis 500 will both have heightened security. Well, honestly, there's no easy way to transition from that to our Hawkeye sports broadcast, but we're going to do our best. So it's not at all often where success means succeeding 30% of the time, but on the diamond, a 300 average is often the bar that separates the pretty good from the great. For one University of Iowa sophomore, Megan Blank, it's actually a lot better. The Culver City, California native came to the plate 14 times over the weekend in Evanston and reached base every single time. Blank then picked up her second Big Ten Player of the Week this season on Monday afternoon after leading the Hawkeyes to a series victory. They took 2 out of 3 at Northwestern. She had a home run, 2 singles, and a triple, knocked in 3 RBI for the Black and Gold, as well as scored a few runs in Iowa's 2 victories. Well, the sophomore has now reached base in her last 26 games, and she is now hitting .440 on the season. She is 12 points ahead of the current school record, which was set by Kim Davis in 1993. So if she can keep it up, she will get her name in the record books. And the male equivalent, Jack Dom's baseball team, they have not left their home for the last 11 games. That's finally going to change this weekend. For more on a wild weekend on the diamond, we'll throw it over to our Whip Around crew with more. Guys?
Hello and welcome to Tuesday Night Whip Around. It's been nothing but baseball here in Iowa City for the past 11 games for the Hawkeye team, but this weekend they'll be heading on the road for the next 3 games. They're going to the University Park to play Penn State in a 3-game series. They're 2-7 in the conference right now going into these games. Now whipping it over to Whitney for softball.
Thanks for that, Allie. I'm standing here outside of Pearl Field, the home of the Iowa softball team. They weren't here this weekend, though. They were in Evanston, Illinois, playing a 3-game set against Northwestern. Now, while they weren't able to take a complete sweep of the Wildcats, they were still able to win the series, taking the first game on Friday and the second game on Saturday.
One more note from the Diamond before we move on. The Iowa women's softball team's highly anticipated doubleheader with number 11 Missouri, scheduled for Tuesday, has been canceled. Weather not cooperating with the Black and Gold's plans, although they are expected to get back on the Diamond this weekend against Big Ten leading and number 9 Michigan in Ann Arbor. And as we welcome in Cody Goodwin to the studio, Cody, before we get to football, let's talk a little softball. Michigan is very good. They're 12-0 in the Big Ten.
They are 12-0 in the Big Ten. They have quite a few good hitters. That's something that head coach Marla Looper is going to be pestering her pitching staff about, trying to get deep into the count, trying to get ahead of those hitters, and trying to force those ground balls to get those quick outs. And if they can do that, anything could happen in Ann Arbor. It is softball. Iowa, a lot better on the road than they are at home, as their record would suggest, 20-9 on the road, as opposed to a 2-7 mark at home. So Iowa much more comfortable on the road, but anything can happen. Michigan is a tough squad.
Iowa softball in position to likely make the NCAA, at least regional, part of the tournament. But let's talk fall sports in the spring. It's time for spring football, and Iowa football got that started on Sunday with a public practice held at Des Moines Valley in central Iowa. Cody, you were there, and before we talk about the team elements, what did Iowa football get out of holding a practice in Des Moines?
They really got a few more fans. I know if you were reading through kind of what the results came out to be, a few more fans kind of came out, whether they be from Cyclone Country or from Northern Iowa Country, to just kind of watch the Iowa football team and see what they were getting. Not a lot of fans were, big supporters of the Black and Gold after last season, a 4-8 showing, and so Iowa just kind of wanted to give back to those fans that stayed faithful out in central Iowa and decided to go out and practice in West Des Moines out at Valley High.
Well, it seems like a savvy promotional move. And speaking of promotions, the Iowa quarterback's hoping to get some sort of promotion. There's 3 of them vying for the starting position next year to be the successor to James Vandenberg. Does any of the 3 have a leg up right now?
I'd say from what I saw on Sunday, I would have to give my, if I had to put money on any of them, it would be right now Jake Rudock. He looked a lot more confident. He had very crisp passes. I don't believe in any one of his passes that he missed his receiver's hands. If he did, I was obviously blinking for a split second. But he looks very more confident, a lot more control under that offense when he was under center. Cody Sokol will be giving him a run for his money, though. A little bit bigger, a little bit more of a powerful arm, but, it is still spring. A lot of kinks to be worked out by all of them. And C.J. Bethard also in the mix there. You can't count him out either. Yeah, a lot of different aspects, and they're all similar in some ways, and they are a little bit different in some ways. Well, the running back situation seemed to be muddled as well, but Jordan Canzeri has really emerged as the favorite for the starting spot. He is back. He is a lot faster than what we saw after when he went down last year in early spring with his ACL injury. Kirk Ferentz did admit at the end of Sunday's practice that Canzeri could have started maybe a little bit at the end of last season, but decided to hold him back so he could continue to work towards this coming spring to get ready for practice, be a whole, 100%, be ready to run. And he did look a lot faster, like I said. He a little bit stronger, a lot more confident, and he will be ready to play both in the backfield and possibly the slot position come time for fall.
And they still have Mark Wiseman and Damon Bullock. Those positive aspects for Iowa moving forward, while there seems to be so many negatives surrounding the program. Well, thanks for coming in as always, Cody, and thanks for going on Sunday. Seemed like a very interesting event to be at. We have more to come on Wednesday's show, including the sights and sounds of the media session for the Hawkeye football team. That's all for us now, though. Back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Wednesday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about what UI faculty discussed at the Faculty Council meeting Tuesday night.
And see how one woman at the university is using music therapy to help people with dementia.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. You can check us out tomorrow at the same time or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.